The Hawks are a finals-hardened unit. This is their 5th night grand final in just 8 years. For the Lions, new territory. Their first grand final in 14 years, and at the start of this competition they were quoted at 50-1. There's a carnival atmosphere here at Waverley Park before this final. Fireworks prior to the game, and no doubt there'll be plenty during this match. And that fireworks display, incidentally, literally shook the Waverley Park foundations. This is the 1992 Foster's Cup Grand Final. Hawthorn and Fitzroy, live from Waverley Park. Yes, good evening everyone and welcome to Waverley Park. As I said, a marvellous atmosphere for this 1992 Foster's Cup Grand Final, and what a beauty it should be. David and Goliath, Fitzroy and Hawthorn. There's always been a big question mark over Paul Roos, but as you can see, he's stripped and out on the ground. Let's have a look and see how these two sides made it through to the finals. Hawthorn had the bye by virtue of their performances last season. They then defeated Richmond and Geelong very convincingly. Fitzroy had a close one against North Melbourne, but then they too were very convincing, firstly against Sydney and more particularly against the Adelaide Crows. Joining me tonight, amongst a cast of thousands, are two former champions. They know what finals are all about, and that is Ian Robertson and Bernie Quinlan. Gentlemen, welcome. And to you first, Bernie, shades of 78 as the hair on the back of the neck starting to rise.
Yes, Andy, I must admit, when I heard the Fitzroy theme song playing as the players ran onto the ground, I got a few goosebumps down the back, and it's just great to see them. Ready to go, ready to go.
All right, boys, let's have a look at the squads.
Fantastic night, Sandy. Hawthorn, of course, it's very, very similar. The names are still there. Paul Deere, Greg Deere, Brereton. I mean, you can go on and on and on about Hawthorn. They are just a great football club and a great football team.
They sure are, and well done Hawthorn to get to the grand final again. The Fitzroy squad. We believe that Paul Roos will be playing, and that is a big plus for Fitzroy. As we have a look at the lineups there, Michael Gale ran out on the ground. There were 24 players ran onto the ground, so there's two players that we're not too sure about, but their form has been very impressive, and it is fantastic that Paul Roos is playing.
Welcome back. The hierarchy at Hawthorn, Alan Joyce has had marvellous success. His skipper is Gary Ayres, who was acting captain in Hawthorn's triumph this time last year. Fitzroy, Robert Shaw has done a wonderful job with this group of youngsters, and their skipper is Paul Roos for the season. There's been a lot of talk about his fitness, so too about this man, Dermot Brereton's fitness, but they are both out on the ground. On the boundary line tonight, Gerard Healy and Tim Watson will keep us up to date with everything. Lovely night for football, though, as it's time now for the Mitsubishi Motors Ground Report. We welcome Gerard Healy.
Well, you're dead right, Sandy. It is a beautiful night. There's a great atmosphere down here on the ground. Looking at the Mitsubishi Motors weatherometer, we've got a current temperature of 17.2 with an expected overnight low of 15 degrees. Humidity is 65%. There's virtually no wind. The ground's in excellent condition, although it could get a little slippery later in the game. And the forecast is for cloudy periods with a chance of a shower or two.
Thank you, Jared. Chris Mitchell and Gavin Dorr are in charge of proceedings. And here we go, the 92 Foster's Cup Grand Final. A great crowd, a wonderful atmosphere, and it should be a tremendous tussle. If the Lions kick the first goal, this crowd will go berserk because there's a great deal of sentiment attached to this club at the moment. Dundas gets the first kick and it's out wide towards the wing. Racing towards the boundary line and taking it over is Gars. So a throw-in. Hawthorn interchange bench.
McDonald, Madigan, Nugent and Cooper.
It's Nugent coming into the lineup. Chris Whitman, sadly suffering hamstring problems. Deere been in fine form. Platten also has had a good Foster's Cup competition. But another bounce.
That's been Fitzroy's strength in the lead-up, Sandy. The number of players they get around the fall of the ball. 4 or 5 players doing the tackling.
Fitzroy's interchanged Jimmy Wind and Joe Cormack. 2 of them there. Bounce half forward for Hawthorn. Chance now for Paul Deere. Just throws it onto the right foot. Little tap on by Brereton. Now the ball in the right left forward pocket. Hall. Quick kick. It's been marked by McCormack. Plays on quickly. Lovely kick. Bit of space or slight error out there by Lynch. Stevens goes in. Good body work by Deere. Chance there for Baldwin. A free kick. No. It's play on. No, it's going back now. Thought the advantage may have been paid there, but the umpire asking the kick to be taken by Ben Allen.
They're away there, Fitzroy. Unfortunately, Alistair Lynch just didn't take that mark. And it didn't appear to be a very difficult mark, a chest mark. A great pass from Brendan McCormick.
And then the little tap on didn't quite work either.
Allen sending the Hawks up towards Barrett. Free kick, tackle considered too high.
Yes, against Steve Paxman there. He's picking up Dermot Brereton. Here's the replay. Over the shoulder, but I've seen worse than that allowed to being let go. But Dermot Brereton to take the free kick and will be kicking from about 40 metres.
Well, this man has an extraordinary finals record.
He has, Sandy, and it's quite amazing over the years. He's only missed out since he started playing one-day grand final. Every other year he's played in a grand final. 5 winning ones and 3 losing ones.
Quite amazing. Can he score the first goal of the night? Brereton from 40 metres. The drop punt's on its way, but he's pushed it right across the face. Has it been marked inside? Tony Hall asked the question. No, out of bounds on the full. So it will be Paul Roos to bring it back into play. To the half-back flank. Deere up high. Anderson tried to go through. He had a wonderful game against Geelong. This is John Blakey. Towards centre wing, over the head of Osborne it goes, hammered towards the boundary line. Collins and Lyon working hard. Platten goes in strongly with Dundas. Collins again, up towards centre wing, but Brett Stevens was in the off. Now he gets it away. And Fitzroy push it up towards centre wing, through the arms of Platten and over the line at centre wing. The kick coming from Steve Paxman. So we will have another throw-in, but a good, tight opening.
Right on centre wing in front of the members' stand. Ruck work, Greg Deere tries to get it down to Platten. Ball runs free now to Dundas. His quick kick is to half forward for Fitzroy. It's their first real chance. It's about 65 metres around from their goal, but Hawthorn, workmanlike fashion once again. Mew, long kick to centre wing, no mark. Attempted gather by Broderick, good strong stuff by Hall. Gowers is in there for Hawthorn, but that crunch of players weren't going to do much with the football, so the umpire calls for a bounce.
Typical opening, isn't it, to a grand final with both sides totally committed. Bill Stephen there now on the Fitzroy match committee, back after a few years' absence.
Punch out. Chance now for McCormack again. His kick is marked. Taven. Away goes to Lyon, a very talented player, Ross Lyon. That's a good kick too, to the centre half forward position. roving the pack, spectacular fashion. Osborne, and the pass is brilliant, finds Gale about 50 metres from goal.
Actually, Michael Gale lined up at full forward. He has been suspect with the hamstring. And Jamie Morrissey picking him up. There was some confusion in the Hawthorn backline as to who was playing full forward.
Distance, Bernie, how does Michael Gale go with it?
He's a pretty good kick actually, Robbo. I think he should make the distance from there.
But it'll certainly be a great fillip for Fitzroy if he can dob this. It'll be the first goal of the match if he can get it. High kick. And it's not too bad. It's a behind, just floating away to the right.
An anxious Robert Shaw looks on as Chris Langford prepares to bring the ball back into play. First score of the night going to the Lions. As I said at the start of this competition, we're quoted at 50 to 1. Platten to Pritchard, and the Hawks are away through the centre. Up towards the half-forward line. He wants Tony Hall. Clever tap. Chance for Gowes. Kick under pressure is high towards the 50-metre line. But the mark is good, and Anderson takes it. He's had a wonderful start to the year, Dean Anderson. Drifts it into the pocket. Lynch comes over the top, fisting down towards Stevens, who's quick to apply the tackle. The Lions have started in very desperate fashion. Dundas is caught. The ball spills free and eventually taken over the line. Jamie Elliott also feeling the pressure.
There's great tackling by both sides there. There's the Hawthorn bench, Alan Jeans and Brian Coleman. Oh, sorry, Alan Joyce. What am I saying? Alan Jeans. Of course, at Richmond now.
Punt road, yep. Gowes again. A high kick swinging back in towards full forward. Dunstall has given away the free kick.
Now, that is a tremendous matchup, that one, Sandy, between Jason Dunstall and Alistair Lynch. Alistair Lynch now developing into probably, well, equal to any fullback playing the game at the moment.
Yes, it'll be a sight to watch, that contest. Lynch's kick out to half-back. No mark taken. Look at Platten. He is a magnificent rover, Johnny Platten. Kick into the forward pocket across his body. Dunstall can't mark. Roos is there to give Lynch a bit of a drop out. And Jarman in the finish there, just taking the football over for boundary throw-in. It's about 15 metres around from the Hawthorn goal.
4 by 20-minute quarters, time on added. And of course, we can't have a drawn game. There'll be 2 5-minute periods with time on played, should scores be tied at the end of the final term. Here's a snap at goal from Deer. It goes right across the face of goal, however, and just sneaks in. 1 goal. In fact, it was Jarman. Struggled a bit early on this year. Jarman has spent a bit of time on the interchange bench in a couple of games.
Well, these sort of contests will help him out, I'm sure, when it's tight. If he can play well in a very tight game like this.
As Alistair Lynch goes straight down the middle. Fisted away from Roos. Hudson runs into trouble. So too does Platten. Jarman can't take it. Brett Stevens came charging towards him. And we'll have a bounce just inside Hawthorn's 50-metre zone.
The Hawk forwards work very, very hard, don't they, to keep the ball in?
Yeah, it's great to see that in the forward line. They've got some very good hard tackling forwards, and the rest of the side really appreciate the fact that they work so hard to keep the ball down there.
Gee, there aren't too many easy kicks being got out there at the moment. Now here's a chance for Baldwin. He kicks it across to the centre wing position. Now, a kick, a little one by Osborne, and it goes wide to the half-forward position, between wing and half-forward on the near side. Richard Osborne, he'll have to play a very good game if Fitzroy to win this match.
Andrew Collins now picking up Michael Gale after Morrissey started there in the back pocket. And Morrissey's now gone out to pick up Ross Lyon.
Dundas's kick was ineffective. Pritchard quickly onto it. Kicks it quickly towards half-forward. Backing himself was Roos. Left it behind. Tony Hall. Now an opportunity for Morris. She was the tackler. Kick off the ground by Roos. The ball goes free to the wing. Pritchard crunched by Osborne. Handball away. Jarman. Deer. Flicks it wider for Jenke. Jenke has a little bit of space. Able to get round onto the left foot. The kick, a little short. In comes Paxman. His kick towards half-forward has been marked by Greg Deer.
So
So Deere goes back over the centre once again. Up towards half forward. And there's a fine mark taken by Paul Abbott. Playing against his old side, he'll be very keen to do well tonight. Call to play on that ball was touched as Jason Baldwin gets a high kick. Muse underneath it. Stands his ground bravely. Morrissey can do some very clever things at times. This is no exception. He sets it up. And Collins sneaks away for the Hawks to half forward. No mark taken. Effective spoil at the back. Dunstall feeling the pressure. Platten roving the pack. Scoops it up. Pushes to Hudson, who shoots in towards goal, but he too goes across the face. And just in for one behind. And for those people watching on Prime Television right throughout the country areas, in the earlier match here at Waverley Park tonight between Hampden and Ballarat, victory to Hampden. 15-6 to Ballarat, 7-7. There's Alistair Lynch. Brings it back into play.
Short kick finds Roos. Roos now called to play on. Switches play to the near side. Right half back for Fitzroy. And did he have the football? No, according to the umpire. Gow's not happy. To me, as may have been a play-on decision. Tackle forced the ball free.
Yes, he may have just got rid of it before the tackle was applied. A clever little hand pass just setting up Gowers, who was committed to the tackle.
Baldwin, high kick in towards the centre. Hawthorn players in front, punched away. Dundas at the front, roving nicely. The kick is not bad, and does it bounce on the line? No. Only centimetres in that. Fitzroy player not happy. Richard Osborne, Jiggy takes the free kick for Hawthorn. Long one, centre wing, no mark. Ball comes to ground. Broderick. Oh, well done, Baldwin. Lovely hand pass, Blakey. Away to Roos. Roos kicks directly towards goal. Marking contest, punched away. Osborne roves it nicely. Little left foot kick is okay. Gale again. Nearly the identical place from his shot for goal earlier in this quarter. So Michael Gale, we saw the distance wasn't a problem then, but couldn't quite get the accuracy.
Maybe just a couple of metres further this time, Robbo. I think he was just kicking inside the 50 metre. This time, just outside the 50 metre.
Bernie, what do you think about long hair? Any comment? Surely that.
I'd love to be able to grow more than that one, Robbo.
Oh, you've got that, Murray. You couldn't possibly be able to concentrate. The kick across is being marked by Wielden.
Well, this is a surprise move, bringing Michael Gale into the side, and it's given Hawthorn something to think about, because it's an extra marking target on the forward line, something that Hawthorn didn't expect to have to contend with.
Just had a quick look then, Darren Wielden. I'm sure he had a look at the flags to see if there was any breeze affecting this shot for goal. Probably will get the distance. He runs very close to the man on the mark, and accordingly kicks it high and hooks it slightly, and it's through for a behind. So quite a tense opening, 2 points apiece, and not very many clean kicks being obtained by anybody. Here's a clean one here. The mark is taken in the back pocket by Mew.
Very good crowd in attendance here at Waverley Park. Upwards of 40,000. Hawthorn at the moment going the long way home. Ayres still tucked in the back pocket. Gives it away. Mew and Deere. Mew's kick smothered off the boot. There's plenty of desperation in this Fitzroy lineup.
Well done, Fitzroy.
Yes, it was magnificent work. And talk about the Hawthorn forwards working hard. There we saw the Fitzroy forwards doing exactly the same.
Abbott and Deere. Mew crunched as he gets his kick. Dundas stands his ground. That's courage. And Chris Mew feeling the effects.
He's copped a couple of hard knocks, Chris Mew. One where he had to stand his ground and go for the mark. And now that very hard knock from Ross Lyon.
Dundas to Osborne.
Good mark that one too, Sandy, at a pack of 4 players.
Plays on quickly, elected not to take the shot in towards goal. That's a long kick. Wielden gets up high. Kick coming from McCormack. But again, the Hawthorn defence too strong. It's Gary Ayres who swings it away. His kick is not a good one, but the Lucks of Fortune go with him. Gars into the centre. Hall working hard. He's caught. Does get rid of the football towards Ben Allen. Got to get boot the ball very, very quickly. Jarman couldn't take it. Pushed towards the boundary line. This is Peter Caven. With him is Dean Anderson. And another throw.
A couple of occasions there, Sandy. Hawthorn not looking all that sure of it. sure of themselves. There's that hard knock there from Rossi Lyon. He's a very determined footballer. But Jarman on that occasion just waiting for the ball to land and just waiting for a teammate to do the work.
Caven again. On the outer wing. Floating kick. Lyon has got to beat a couple. Down front was Osborne. Almost gave away the free kick to Jenky. Back with Lyon again. Inside 50. He pulls it round his body with the left foot. A little too far. Langford will get the Hawks out of trouble to Morrissey. Back to the full-back again he goes. Oh, and Chris Langford has a bounce as he sprints across the centre, just gets his kick in time. Long in towards Dunstall, beautifully read by Hudson, shoots in towards goal. Could this be the first one for the Hawks? Desperation as it's taken over the line by Steve Paxton, the one behind.
I'll tell you what, Sandy, I think Fitzroy are very, very aware that they've got to keep the pressure on every possible Hawthorn player. Not one man is allowed to get a kick in a free position.
The other important thing, particularly in this first quarter, they couldn't let Hawthorn get away to one of their famous flying stars.
Oh my word, it's very important for Fitzroy's confidence to do what they're doing at this stage. The kick by McCormack goes up towards the right half forward flank position. Wheeldon sneaky handball. Caven shrugs the Morrissey tackle. Caven's left foot kick towards the front of the goal. Chance here for Fitzroy. Oh, well done, Ayres. In a little bit of trouble there on Seacamp. It's hurried over the boundary line for throw in the left forward pocket for the Lions. Experienced campaigner Gary Ayres playing his 30th night match this evening. Here's a chance for Platten. No, there was no chance. He was smothered. And Wheeldon gets in there to pat a couple of his teammates on the head for very, very good work to keep the ball in Fitzroy's scoring area. It's only about 30 metres from their goal, but obviously the angle is very tight. Abbott, he'll be a determined man this evening, up against Deer, and he did well. Gale, it's deep in the pocket. Platten, Morrissey, Abbott, kick high. Marking contest again, punched away by Ayres, he missed it altogether. Seacamp goes after it, Ayres tackle. Muse kick. Was that touched? It was, according to the central umpire and the boundary umpire. They concur, so we'll have a boundary throw in that left forward pocket.
Still, Robbo, an indication of the sort of pressure that Hawthorn have to withstand at the moment. Fitzroy playing exactly the same way as they have right throughout this Foster's Cup competition, and that's putting on plenty of pressure on the opposition.
1 point the difference. Baldwin over the line.
We were in Hobart a couple of weeks ago, Drew Morfitt and I, and we had to tell Jason Baldwin to have his let his hair grow because he looked too much like Paul Morris. They're identical.
Throw in again. In the Lions attacking zone. Push towards half-back. Strong mark taken by Brendan McCormack. Probably 70 metres from goal. Goes long and low. Wants Wheeldon, but Langford too tall and in front.
He won't be able to mark behind Chris Langford. He's just too tall, Sandy, as he called him.
Plays to Ayres, who heads defensively away, and a great diving attempt by Gowes, but the ball spills free, and sadly for Richard Osborne, he couldn't keep it in play. So a throw.
Gowes did all the good work getting there, and then perhaps just a little bit of a lapse in concentration and dropped the mark that he probably should have taken.
Throw in again. Abbott and Deer. Caven to Osborne. Now Ozzy can have a shot from here. No, pulls it back. Where are his forwards? Gale caught at the back. Dundas down in front, but socked away intelligently by Langford, who continues to charge. Going to be beaten for pace, but the bounce is a kind one for him. He goes for a little soccer off the ground. Hudson was held, and he'll be free kick. They'll come back.
Oh, they were a bit lucky there, Fitzroy, I think.
Yes, they're off and running, weren't they, Hawthorn?
I think Hudson spotted someone further afield. Jarman couldn't get the ball back to him quick enough.
Yes, Tony Hall was free. He's been picked up by Paul Roos.
So Hudson back in the middle. Elects to go wide. Andy Collins is there. Swings round now on the left foot into half forward. That's a good kick. Tony Hall plays on quickly to Ben Allen. This looks damaging. His kick is a beauty, and Dunstall takes the mark.
And it all happened because Collins backed himself, and the player who is his opponent must run down the ground and not allow him to be a target.
So a great shepherd there from Chris Langford, who was further up the ground as well. As we see that pass, Alistair Lynch, who's had a great contest with Jason Dunstall so far, They had no chance of stopping that pass.
Dunstall has kicked 16 so far in this competition, 7 against Geelong and 9 against Richmond. Still looking for his first tonight. Four points to 2. Lynch. Short to Dundas. He's had a good start. 5 kicks to Matthew Dundas. So confident opening for him. Steve Paxman twists out of trouble. Goes over the centre line. Could have been held, but the umpire calls play on. With him is Morrison. Osborne perhaps should have tried to soccer the ball forward. Gale was at the bottom, looking for a free kick. Muse is smothered. Here's a chance for ball when he hooks it round his body. Long and high, in towards full forward. Again, the Hawthorn defence, superb. Jenke to Morrissey. They're out of strife once again. He just gets his kick in time. Floater towards centre wing. Hudson having to beat 3 of them. And eventually sees it over the line.
Again there, Sandy, 5 Fitzroy players to 3 Hawthorn players. And if Fitzroy to have any chance, that's the style of football they must play.
3 minutes left, 4 points to 2 points. Who would have thought? Not a goal scored in the match yet. Dundas roving, left it behind. Deer. Not bad. The kick gathered about 35 to 40 metres. Burke couldn't control it. And Paxman doing all right so far on Dermott.
And he's got away a couple of times too from Dermott. Kicks out of the back line. Dermott hasn't really manned up well enough. Allowed Steve Paxman to run down this outer wing.
Well done, Abbott, to McCormack. His kick to the right half forward area is a clash. Collins just held up a little bit there. Caven coming through. And we'll have a boundary throw.
Robbo, not only the glory of winning a grand final tonight, but individual awards. We have the first of the Michael Tuck medals to be won tonight, and incidentally our own Tim Watson is on the voting panel for that, so it'll be interesting to see who can take the first Michael Tuck medal. As Platt gets Hawthorn away. Up towards half forward. Ruse has it taken by Abbott. Charging his Lyle. And a clash of heads maybe then. James Morrissey didn't appreciate it.
And Swassi Lyon realising he couldn't get there. But look at the blood streaming from his eye. It's just run into the back of Paul Hudson's head and got a nasty gash over his eyebrow.
And with the new rulings, he may have to leave the ground very soon. We'll keep an eye on that. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Dunstall and Lynch. Clever soccer tactics by Dunstall, and he does it again. He's clever with that. And another behind, so he's contributed 2 points. 3 points the margin.
What does that new rule on bleeding? I think the
if
AFL is still a little undecided, aren't they?
According to reports today, if it is profuse, that player should leave the ground.
That is, of course, up to the club doctor.
Yes.
Well, it'll be critical because Ross Lyon is a playmaker for Fitzroy, and it'll be disappointing if he comes off the ground. Osborne, who's doing reasonably well across half forward for Fitzroy. Langford against Wielden, perhaps funny a sounding whistle.
His P's gone.
And Langford will take the free kick.
The P's stuck.
Langford's kicked too high for Mew. And I'll tell you what, a couple of heavy knocks has made Chris Mew just a little uncertain about what's going on. He's not handling the ball or going for it with any surety. Boundary throw in, Deer positioning himself, Abbott doing well. Anderson at the fall of the ball, Dundas. Anderson tries to do something with it a second time. Good handball by Abbott. Gives McCormack the chance, running along the boundary line. A left foot kick by that player goes up towards the 50-metre line. Collins, does he control it? Yes, he does. Has a little look, which was good. Steadied brilliantly, gave the handball to Platten. Brilliant football by Collins. The kick to half forward, no mark taken. Swooping on it is Anderson. The bounce was kind for him. He transfers play to the centre-half forward position. Rather fortunate for Jarman. Great handball. Allen gets past. Shot for goal by Ben Allen. There's the first goal to Hawthorn. Brilliant football. The ball handling was superb on that outer wing. And a couple of slick handballs. One coming from Jarman was a beauty, and Ben Allen made no mistake.
It's been a while coming, but a magnificent goal. Here's a setup from Anderson. Not a good kick off the boot. Fortunately, Jarman was there. And Ben Allen playing in the centre on Brendan McCormick, finishing it off. A very good low running kick at goal.
So the Hawks have a 9-point lead. Inside the last minute, there's some heavy work going in the middle. Morrissey gets it away to Platten. Towards full forward, Dunstall.
Oh, well done, Lynch.
Great work by Alistair Lynch, but Dunstall butters up again. Time's ticking away. Dunstall steadies, kicks in towards full forward. Mark has got paid to Pritchard. It's eventually flicked in towards the back pocket. And now a chance for the Lions to clear.
He would have been better off having that shot at goal there, Jason Dunstall. He only put Pritchard under pressure with that hand pass.
It's on behind play.
And that's Lynch and Dermot Brereton having a good wrestle over the boundary line.
On the siren, Alistair Lynch will be saying, would you mind removing that knee? There's a dual headlock.
Who's the wrestler in there? I'll tell you what, Ross Lyon had Paul Hudson in his sights a little earlier too, Sandy. And if he'd have hit him, he'd have knocked him from here to the freeway.
Well, a very tight, hard, competitive opening quarter. Exactly what you'd expect in a grand final. And at quarter time, Hawthorn lead 1-5. Fitzroy 2 behinds. So now into the second quarter. And I welcome Peter McKenna and Don Scott to the microphone. And Pete, it's been a great start to this grand final.
Yes, tremendous effort by Fitzroy so far, but they've got to be able to keep up the pressure for the whole game as Brereton's ridden into the ground. Umpire calls play on as Paul Deere picks it up on the right foot, fires in at goal and misses to the right. But just a few danger signs there. The fact that Hawthorn have had 7 scoring shots to 2, Sandy, which is normally a sign of a side just starting to get on top.
The man in screen there, Ross Lyon, getting stitched at quarter time by the club doctor.
Interesting to look at the handballs too. Hawthorn had 29 and Fitzroy 10. The Lions have a chance here to go forward through Paul Broderick. He's kicked up over centre wing, taken by Caven. Wants to get on with it quickly. Does so. In towards the 50-metre line. Wheeldon's the target. Can't take it. Baldwin through strongly. Gets the hand pass out. Wheeldon going nowhere. And the ball eventually over the line.
These Fitzroy players certainly have risen to the occasion, Sandy. What a scrap on the side that played the Crows last week. They've really lifted.
Still in their half-forward zone. Morrissey somehow gets clear. Pulls it round his body. Abbott and Osborne. And the big man leaves it for Richard Osborne. He goes long and direct. In towards full forward. No mark taken and a snap at goal is offline. Marcus Seacamp was the big flyer. Behind on the board, Ross Lyon has been cleaned up.
It's been a battle of defences so far. 2 defences doing particularly well. Langford doing very well at fullback for the Hawks as he finds Greg Deere. Great to see that player back in action after that knee operation. With Steve Lawrence suspended, they needed him, as Andrew Collins has also been very prominent so far, takes the ball to the line.
And Pete, isn't 6 months a long time in football? I think it was the 3 of us who journeyed down to Hobart to see Hawthorn absolutely annihilate the Lions.
Yes, I don't think anyone's going to get an easy game against Fitzroy this year. They're playing with a lot of spirit. That's Deere getting it down to Anderson. The whole thing is Hawthorn is such a great side with so much talent. You've just got to pressure them for the whole game. You just can't let them loose for 5 minutes because they can kick 4 or 5 quick ones. There's Tony Hall on screen. Very strong overhead, Hall. Some good matchups tonight. Deere gets it to the ground. Ben Allen, as usual, crashing into the packs, trying to get it out. Did he make an attempt? The umpire said it was held in, so he'll bounce it. 2 umpires tonight, Chris Mitchell and Gavin Dorr, and there's the young faces of the Fitzroy bench. Jeremy Gardner's on the right, now the Hawthorn bench. Deere beaten to it by Abbott. Here's Paul Broderick. Onto the left foot, Broderick to the half-forward line. There could have been a free kick to Caven. It is advantage paid to Dundas. In towards the pocket. Collins has dropped the sitter. The hand pass comes up in front of goal as players race it after. Now it's Michael Gale trying to get around onto the right foot. Now the left hand. On to McCormack. left foot into the open goal, but he has missed to the left.
A lot of skill up on that forward line for Fitzroy. Gale, an inclusion, and also McCormack combining. Those who've got a bit of talent, or quite a lot of talent actually.
8 points the margin, favouring the Hawks. Langford, straight down the middle, but to who? His old teammate.
He certainly lifted Abbott.
Gale takes the mark. 45 out, directly in front. He's had a couple of shots at the other end in the first quarter. Seacamp lead ignored. He goes back into the square. Gale will have a shot. This to make the margin, 2 points. Pull it again.
Got a problem, Sandy, with his kicking. We've seen that on a few occasions tonight. From that 50-metre line, he just can't make the distance.
Langford goes short, finds Anderson. Picked up 22 kicks against Geelong, had a superb game. Push out, the other way of Gowes. Tempo's just dropped a little from the first quarter, but that was fierce as Abbott gets a kick up towards half forward. Chris Mew dropped a very solid one, but has recovered. Back towards the centre he goes. No mark paid. Allen working hard. So too McCormack.
Good to see Paul Abbott on that occasion backing into the pack. Only eyes for the ball. Takes a lot of courage to do that. He's obviously got something to prove tonight.
The ball at centre wing, and there's the player Don was talking about. He was beaten to it by Deer. Platten being very closely guarded. Here's Paul Abbott again on the left foot to the half-forward line. Caven tried to tap it on. Greg Deer. Oh, bad hand pass straight to Broderick. Broderick to Dundas. Here's a chance for Fitzroy. Dundas, a short pass. Oh, the mark is dropped up there by Wielden. He recovers on the Gale. Here's a chance for Seacamp. Back it comes and around the corner goes Osborne, and he has kicked it. It's on for young and old as Osborne kicked that goal, and there's a lot of feeling out there. It was a great goal and plenty of angry words being spoken. Very handy one, that one to Fitzroy.
It's a great snap by Richard Osborne. There he is in screen number 44. Lost that yarding pace, but still does possess skill.
Richard Osborne picks the Roy's first. The margin is 2 points. And a lot of feeling in this game.
Just waiting on the ball to come back in.
They might have to call for a new one.
Well, Hawthorn, I don't think Hawthorn's had a side really take it up to them like this for a long time, have they?
Now, this is what happened after the goal. We watched Richard Osborne involved there with Andrew Collins, and this really did develop into an ugly scene.
Players are pumped, no question of that. Jenke, Wielden, Ayres, back in the middle with a new ball. McCormack tries to get the hand pass out, taken by Hudson. Towards half forward he goes. Ruse
being held.
And will be free kick.
Doing well tonight, Ruse.
This looks to be moving okay after so much speculation about his fitness. Dundas gets around Morrison. Floating kick up towards the centre of the ground. Chris Mew mark. You can hear the umpire say.
Confident mark by Mew. Behind.
Very strong overhead. An ordinary looking kick. Morrissey traps it. Swings onto the left foot, James Morrissey. He'll be looking for Dunstall. Jarman at the back. He'll race to the pocket. He's got 2 and 3 Fitzroy players after him with Jaron Jarman. Oh, keeps it in. Good play. Now after brilliant play, Jarman on the Hall. Oh, that was sensational. Deserved the goal. Hit the post, but what great play by Jarman.
He was the only one really, Peter, who realised that the ball could stay in. He tapped it on. Everyone else thought he'd go take the ball over the line. He fooled everybody. That was just sensational play.
Alistair Lynch. Not a good kick. Deer. This is Paul Deer. Turned into a very good footballer. Finds his brother. Will be kicking from just outside 50. He's going short. Brereton's his target. And this time he sneaks away from Steve Paxman. We'll have a shot from 30 metres out. Pretty tight angle, however. Dermot Brereton. Great finals campaigner. And one behind only the result on this occasion. 1-8, those 1-4. Lynch again. Good kick. Finds Paxman. He goes short. Return to Abbott. It pops one over the top. He wants Stevens. Good interception, however, and eventually, no, I thought Baldwin may take it over the line. Perhaps he should have, because he's flicked it back to Allen. However, his kick finds Paxman again.
Yeah, he's being held by Burton. That should be 50.
It is.
That's good umpiring to see that, because what Dermot was doing was holding with the right arm. He could be disguised by the player's body.
Play on called eventually now. Paxman to McCormack. In towards half forward, or Wheeldon at the back was forced to spoil. Deer came down awkwardly. The quick hand pass comes out the way of Elliott. The long kick in towards goal. This is going to be close. One behind. So both sides peppering away at goal with behinds.
Greg Deer back on his feet too. He looks all right.
1-8 plays 1-5.
Well, 3 points the margin. This is a good game of football, a real grand final. Fitzroy serving it up to the Hawks. They're putting the pressure on, and they're making the Hawks earn every kick and not get that flow-on game they're renowned for away. Here they go again, Fitzroy. McCormack to the pocket. That was a beautiful kick. The marker's dropped by Wheeldon. Oh, there's a free kick to Collins. But he should have marked that down.
Dropped that at all, Wheeldon.
Well, Collins off. He finds Jenke. But look at Fitzroy players coming at Jenke. That's good. Langford. The short one is on. That's a mark to Paul Deer. No doubt about that. Centre wing. Now he'll be off. No one on the mark. Deer. Oh, he's getting himself into all sorts of trouble here. Goes for the hand pass. He's got a teammate in the centre of the ground. This is Anderson. Kicks long and wide. Dunstall at the back. The ball hits the deck. Little Dundas after it. Oh, he nearly gets overrun. McCormack with skill. Now it's Paxman. And Fitzroy repel that attack from Hawthorn. Paxman wide out. Can Roos stop it before it reaches the line? Yes, he can.
Paul Roos, kick up towards centre wing. Abbott forced to defend. He's got to beat a couple of them. Collins sneaks away. Goes short to Anderson. 7th kick coming up for Dean Anderson, so another good night for him. And it's a beauty to Hudson, who'll steady, shoot from 40 metres out and pop it through for the Hawks.
So there's the skill level of Hawthorn, and it also displayed that little passage displayed the lack of concentration the Fitzroy players do have on occasions. You cannot afford to allow Hawthorn away. Look at the skill. One, and then he spots a player, Anderson, who is Hudson by himself. Where's his Fitzroy opponent? Nowhere to be seen.
Hawks by 9 points. Fitzroy trying desperately hard, but Hawthorn had many, many options on that occasion as they went forward. And again, McCormack trying to get it out the centre. Now Platten. And they're guarding Johnny Platten very, very closely. They know what a vital player he is. But I just mentioned their options a moment ago. They had so many loose players on their forward line, Hawthorn, as you said, Don. So that's the danger. There's Allen. The ball held to him. It'll be another bounce.
Umpires Chris Mitchell and Gavin Dorr keeping stern control of this game. Deer goes past Blakey. This is Gale on towards Dundas, but look at Platten. Gale again on all fours with Collins. Still Platten goes. What a workhorse he is. chance for Elliott. Towards Caven. And did that go off the boot? On the full, yes, sadly for him. It'll be Chris Mew to bring it back into play. Another one of the grand campaigners. Glenn Ferry. Deer. Long up towards the half-forward line. Hawthorn players in front but unable to mark.
Oh, well done, Ross Lyon.
There's Ross Lyon to a tee. Great courage shown. Can the Roys make something of his courage? Wielded. Collins will get a free kick. Gale went straight into it.
He's a great player, Andrew Collins, Don, isn't he?
Oh, he's a very skilled player. Interesting, Peter, just to reflect on this new ruling that's going to come in about the blood. Now, there's a couple of players out there with blood, but really on their bodies, but really it's left to the discretion of the medico officers as to when they do, if they have to come off.
Hudson in front. Abbott gets it to Blakey. Blakey, there's Hawthorn players coming at him from everywhere. Now Jamie Elliott around the corner on the right foot to centre wing. Attempted trap, but it's taken away by Ross Lyon. Lyon in towards half-forward. Here's a chance for Fitzroy as Wheeldon races at the ball. Let's see if he can trap it. Ayres putting the pressure on. Wheeldon again caught with the ball and holding the ball, and the umpire paying the advantage. Gary Ayres, Tony Hall, and this is the danger signs when they start running away with that football like this, Hawthorn. Dean Anderson, oh look at loose men popping up everywhere. Pritchard, now the leader's on to the space. Can Dunstall get there? He can, and that is champagne football by the Hawks.
So they're prepared to run from the back line. Now, the Fitzroy forwards have got a man up. We've seen Langford come down on a number of occasions. Wheeldon's got to check him. Ayres on that occasion took the bit between the teeth, the initiative, and he started that passage of play. There's Dunstall leading into that hole.
That's it, yes!
And they just can't get back there quick enough.
Well, here's the kick by Dunstall after that great lead straight up the ground and right through the middle. So Jason Dunstall has kicked his first, and the Hawks kick clear, 3-8 to 1-5.
They just seem to be taking that little bit of control now, don't they, the Hawthorn side? They're very skilled. Anderson has tremendous endurance. He was the one that set it up from Ayres, and he got it across to Pritchard. And there was a chip from Pritchard to the sideboarded Dunstall.
The margin now is out to 15 points. Abbott and Deer to contest the centre bounce. Won by the Hawthorn big man. Good recovery by Abbott. Jenke. Almost leg, but he did well, having to work from behind. Puts his teammates under tremendous pressure, though, with a hand pass. It was a little late, and they've lost it.
That was better work by Gale. Then he came up and initiated the tackle.
It's Lyon going long, in towards full forward, or big flyers again. Seacamp in particular, but no mark. Ayres throws it up in the air, and Langford comes over the top and hammers it to the line.
Darren Wheeldon's made two bad mistakes this quarter. He dropped the chest mark, and he messed around with that ball on the ground.
Look at the handball stats too. Very interesting, isn't it?
Caven with Deer, and Hudson sees it over the line. Fitzroy have a bye in the opening home and away round. The Hawks have got to back up to Geelong.
It'll be a great game out here.
Of course, you'll be able to see all that action of the opening round on 7 and Prime. Wherever you may be watching, though, check your local guides. Platten under pressure. So too Broderick. Now Lyon. Inside 50. Kick is very wide, but doing the work, and this time holding it as Seacamp from behind.
Good play by Ross Lyon. Baited a number of players on that 50-metre line. Just got his kick to drag the ground.
Well, he won't see a lot between those goalposts. He's going to bend it back. He's bent it very well.
Well, what a goal. What a goal. The boy from East Perth, Fitzroy's #1 draft choice. Here's the mark. Wearing Gary Pert's old #3. Up over Ayres. just taking it on the line, but what a magnificent kick.
Points the margin after that great goal by Marcus Seacamp from the boundary line. Centre bounce is very, very important. Well, great determination by Osborne. On the line, Lyon dodging and weaving. That is brilliant football as he gets it to the half-forward line. Players race at the ball. Michael Gale swings onto the right foot from 45 metres, brings it back at goal. A great attempt, but just across the face and through from behind. But that's good play by the Lions.
Ayres again to the outer side. Hawks have the numbers. Collins thought about going on to Chris Langford, who ran down. Now goes back and has his kick. Up towards centre wing. Gowers in front. Centering kick. Ben Allen's got to stand his ground and stand.
He was gone.
Well, his kick is a beauty to Pritchard. This looks very, very dangerous. Hudson from 55 in towards full forward. No mark taken. Jarman doing the scouting, and he will go. So the Hawks hit back. Jarman gets his first. Hawthorn a 4-8. Fitzroy 2-6.
Well, he is a real opportunist. A player blessed with a lot of skill. We saw earlier the way that he summed up the situation, kept the ball in play, and nearly finished off with a goal through Tony Hall. But he really did anticipate that ball falling in front of the pack well. Had a dirty night last time they played here, came off the bench, only had a couple of kicks. A surprising player in this lineup to start off anyway.
Paul Abbott against his former teammate Greg Deere. Deere cleverly to Platten. Platten has been well held
By Broderick.
There's Ben Allen receiving from Morrissey to the half-forward line. Players racing the ball. Mark taken by Brett Stevens. Now he's looking for an option. He brings it around the boundary line. Good pass too. Ross Lyon is playing very, very well. Lyon to the half-forward line. The Fitzroy players converge on it. Caven in front has taken a very good mark. And they need to score a goal from this attack. Caven in towards the half-forward line. Langford's been well on top there. Now it's little John Platten to help him along. And a good kick by Platten around the line and over. Very educated kick. But Langford a bit too tall for Wheeldon at the moment, Don.
And he's a very mobile, surprisingly mobile player, Chris Langford. Very quick and prepared to come down the ground.
Fitzroy supreme in the air in the first term. Hawthorn in the second. With those marking statistics. Gale over the top down to Dundas. Straight at the play. You can hear the umpire say it's a Hawthorn free kick.
He's got some courage, Collins. He never took his eyes off it then, did he? At any stage.
The game's great little defenders. Deere plays on to Ray Jenke. Low in towards the centre to Gowers. Back he goes. The ball was touched. Play on will be the call. Ayres is claimed. He tried to give it to Jarman. Doesn't come off. The long kick by Paul Deere. Tony Hall the target. Couldn't take the mark. Stevens was desperate, but it's eventually just taken over the line. Running out of room was Alistair Lynch. So another throw in, but Hawthorn have it in their attacking zone. Right forward pocket. Under 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. And again, it's been tight. Hall is quick. Paul Deere back to Hall. Should be a goal. 20 metres. And he doesn't let his side down. Tony Hall gets his first and the Hawks kick clear again. 5-8 to 2-6.
Sorry, Sandy, the reason that happened is that Stevens, who is Hall's man, was contesting the ruck work. Drews really should have gone in, or whoever Deere's man is should have gone and manned up on Hall, because Stevens just couldn't get back there and cover him.
Well, the margin now to Hawthorn is 20 points. They're starting to get on top. Deere doing well at the centre bounces. Ross Lyon, he's trying his heart out. Now it's Ben Allen racing at it. Socket off the ground by Richard Osborne. McCormack will lead in the race for the ball. Let's see if he gets there first. Great pick up, but too high. So it will be a free kick to Brendan McCormack. very highly skilled player. Now off he goes. He's going for the hand pass. Oh, they might get themselves into trouble here. You can see it. Clever play, Jarman. He rebounds to Hudson. Hudson's trying to swing onto that left foot. Danger here because the pass is on Dunstall at the back. He can knock this on. Oh, Tony Hall, an open goal. An easy goal coming up to the Hawks. 2 goals to Hall. Magnificent team play by Hawthorn. And they kick clear. 6-8 plates, 2-6.
Well, my apologies to Brett Stevens. Earlier I said that Tony Hall was his man. Paul Roos has got the job on him. On that occasion, Roos had to do the thing that was go and meet the ball, but he was caught in no man's land, left his man, Hall, who went in and kicked his second goal in the space of 60-odd seconds.
Plays 18, 26 points the margin. Another heavy crunch in the centre. There's a Hawthorn player down.
He doesn't look too good, Sandy. Slowly getting to his feet. No, he's just rolled over.
This is Gowes. We'll keep an eye on him. The player still not moved. The officials rushing to him now. Pritchard clashes with Blakey.
Ben Allen, there he is.
He's been in very good touch. Runs into Ross Lyon on that occasion.
And Lyon does hit hard, as Ben Allen will testify.
However, Hawthorn have it in their attacking zone again. Down towards Hall and Roos. Out comes Brereton. Hall the first to recover. He may go over the top this time to Dunstall. No, he has a left foot snap. Oh,
don't tell
has he kicked that one? Yes, he has. What a goal. What a purple patch for Tony Hall. 3 goals in as many minutes. And they don't come any better than that goal.
Oh, that was a magical goal. I thought that was going to go over the boundary line on the full. It was on his left foot because that's not his natural kicking foot. Now watch this on replay. First to recover Hall. Gets around Lynch, which is a terrific effort. And holds that ball across the body. What a magical kick.
Tony Hall has kicked 3. Hawthorn getting well on top now, but Tony Hall, we know what a great player he is, but if he hadn't had that serious knee operation, it could have been absolutely anything. Anderson to the half-forward line, Deer in front, has the ball fisted away. Pritchard swoops on it. He's got back-up support. The umpire will pay the advantage here as Paul Deer onto that left foot of his, brings it into the pocket. There's Hudson. There's loose men everywhere on that Hawthorn forward line. Hudson will kick from 40 metres.
Hawthorn are now starting to control the centre square. It's Deer who's getting the handball, but they're going very hard at the ball once it hits the ground. Actually, they've got away 8-4. Hawthorn out in the centre. Fitzroy.
Well, Hudson, a very accurate kick. He's kick 1. Sporting the new hairdo, as he will kick from 40 metres, very slight angle. Paul Hudson kicks and sneaks it through for a goal. So Paul Hudson has kicked his second, and they've got so many options up forward. 8-8 Hawthorn, Fitzroy 2-6.
Well, the floodgates have opened for Hawthorn, and there's just an avalanche of goals in this the second quarter. Deer is all coming from the centre square. Spots Hudson. Jamie Elliott is his man, or was his man. Maybe a change has been made. Maybe Morris has got the job now on Hudson. Elliott's gone down onto Ben Allen, who's now in the forward pocket.
56 plays 18. Just over 2 minutes remaining. The Lions want goals badly. Jenky.
Oh, Lions
That's the line. He's in trouble after showing great desperation. Dundas sockers off the ground, down to the forward line. Can wield and do something miraculous here. Sweeps a hand pass, but it's taken by Mew, who kicks defensively towards the boundary line, and it will beat players over the line for another throw in. Lyon again in the hands of the
It's also
Trainers.
Caven, the casualty of a Lion slide through. Watch this, Lion goes through. And there.
Ross Lyon is very groggy.
Ben Allen's off the ground too. He's gone off the ground, and Nugent's come on for Hawthorn.
So some casualties in this first half. Lyon shrugs the Trainers. He can't run, Ross Lyon. He's just fallen to the ground. They're going to have to get him off very smartly. That's bad news for Fitzroy. But the Hawthorn machine rolls on. Jarman takes and he's got a paddock. 2 bounces. Up towards full forward. The kick, beautiful for Hudson. the other end of the ground, Ross Lyon is being asked where he is. Hudson's booted 2 this quarter. Tony Hall has booted 3 for the quarter. And the Hawks so far have 7 in this term. From 40 metres. The kick is good. Another one to the Hawks. 3 goals to Paul Hudson. 9-8, plays 2-6.
Those 3 goals all coming in this second quarter. Tony Hall has also kicked 3 in the second quarter. There's Paxton in screen. Casualty of a Ross Lyon head, or Peter Caven, I should say. But they've certainly gone away. 51 points in this second quarter, Hawthorn.
Well, I'd go as far as to say, Don, in my time in league football, I've never seen a better forward line play the game than the Hawthorn one. Present Hawthorn forward line in talent. They've got 6 forwards capable of kicking goals. How do you stop the lot of them? And here's one of them, Hudson, and it'll have to come back. I mean, you've got Hall, you've got Jarman.
Ross Lyon coming off for Fitzroy.
50-metre penalty as well. Oh, don't tell me. Hudson will be now brought down inside 50 and will be shooting for his 4th.
Well, Hudson's lining up. Jeremy Gard has come on for Fitzroy, replacing Ross Lyon. Gard's gone down on the forward line. Morrissey's going to be his immediate opponent. As we see there, Ross Lyon going immediately up into the dressing room.
Paul Hudson kicking for his 4th from directly in front. As I said earlier, he's a great kick for goal. Bang. Now, did it sneak in? Yes, it did. So Paul Hudson kicks his 4th, an avalanche of goals here to the Hawks. 10-8 to 2-6 as Ross Lyon, unfortunately, going up the race and into the dressing room. And he is probably Fitzroy's best player.
Here's a shot from behind the goals. Paul Hudson. Ball just deviating a little bit as it goes through for his 4th. Ross Lyon seemed to be all right as he walked up there. Maybe it's a slight bout of concussion because he got that knee in the head. It was from Caven.
Only seconds remaining in this second quarter. Collins whips Hawthorn forward again. It's a quarter that has belonged to the Hawks. They've been superb. Stevens at the back tries to repel yet another attack. The ball spills clear. The Hawks have run out of time for another goal. Anderson has claimed what a mighty second quarter it was by the reigning champions. 10-8 plays 2-6. Tony Hall kicked 3 goals for the quarter. Paul Hudson booted 4. Jason Dunstall, who's kicked 16 prior to this final, has with 1 to half time. Fitzroy, it's been a much tougher assignment. Marcus Seekamp and Richard Osborne were their 2 scorers in the second quarter, and they failed to score a goal in the first. So at half-time, Hawthorn in a commanding position to make it back-to-back Foster's Cup victories. 10-8, 68, 2-6-18. The scoreboard tells the story in the second quarter of this Foster's Cup Grand Final. A 9-goal blast by the reigning champions. They are 10-8, a 68. Fitzroy at 2-6-18. Well, we had fireworks prior to this game getting underway, but gentlemen, that second quarter, some mighty fireworks from the Hawks.
Well, they were unbelievable, Sandy, weren't they? I mean, I guess we tend to expect it, don't we, Bernie? You know, they've got so many good players, and it takes 6 good defenders to suppress their 6 good forwards, and in the finish, Hudson and Hall escaped.
Yeah, exactly. Well, as Peter McKenna said in the call in that second quarter, they just got so many forwards. They kept the lid on a couple of the forwards, but of course Hudson and Hall getting away makes all the difference. Second quarter stats, of course, dominated by the Hawthorn side. Kicks well in front of Fitzroy, marks double the amount that Fitzroy took. And look at the hit-outs. Paul Deere and Greg Deere, the 2 Deere boys doing all the ruck work against Paul Abbott. And the overall stats, Robbo, have a look at that.
I was going to say it didn't really happen until about the 18-minute mark of that second quarter, but it's the sort of thing that every team has to look at. You must keep going right up until the siren sounds, and Fitzroy in the finish they looked as though there were about 25 Hawthorn players on the ground as maybe 16 Fitzroy players.
I think it's a case of enthusiasm will only get you so far, and Hawthorn have got the enthusiasm and the forwards to finish it off.
All Right, gentlemen, thank you for that. Fitzroy looked to have a couple of casualties in that second quarter, Lion being one. Let's check on those a little more closely now. Jared, you're down in the rooms. What's the latest situation with Fitzroy?
Well, it's pretty quiet down here, of course, Sandy, and I came up the race with the Fitzroy players and there wasn't a great deal of talk there. Robert Shaw has them tucked away in the coach's room, and I'm sure he'd be incensed, particularly with their last 10 minutes where Hawthorn slammed on those 7 goals. Ross Lyon went up the race. He has suspected concussion, and it's doubtful whether he will appear, although in a grand final I guess they may be tempted to throw him back out there. And I'm sure that Shaw would be furious with their wasted opportunities, particularly up forward. I heard a few of the players telling Darren Wheeldon to play in front and to settle down a bit. He's just making those unforced errors. I'm sure things would be a hell of a lot better in the Hawthorn room, though. How is it, Tim?
Well, it's very relaxed in here at the moment. A number of players are having a rub-down massage at half-time. But Alan Joyce would be very happy with that finish off in the second quarter there. A lot of the players at quarter time were talking about switching the play, and that's exactly what they did, creating a loose man coming down the field. Ben Allen has been in the medical room getting some attention to a knock on the head, but I think that he'll be back on the field in the second half. But really, it's just business as usual down here in the Hawthorn rooms.
So can the Lions come back? 10-8, plays 2-6. Fitzroy's only 2 goals came early in the second quarter. Wide on the wing. Baldwin. Guard. To half forward. Mew lost it. Gow's a hurried kick. Back towards the centre it goes. An opportunity now for the Roys. This is Paul Broderick. Into the centre and Abbott takes it. Right in the middle of Waverley Park. Roys want at least the first couple. There's a good mark by Osborne. Good use of the body.
Brett Stevens now playing at centre-half forward. He started off playing at centre-half back on Paul there, who's been now moved down to the forward line.
Osborne kicked a goal in the second quarter. He finds his mark by going short to Paul Broderick.
Now that is very poor manning up by the Hawthorn defenders. Paul Broderick, an on-ball player, needed to be picked up by the ruck rover at the moment, probably Dean Anderson. And he found space, 30 metres space actually on that forward line, and no Hawthorn player covering for a teammate.
Fourth kick coming up for Broderick from 35 metres. Well, that's the start they wanted. Broderick's first, the Lions third, 3-6 plays 10-8.
They certainly need to get a few quick ones on the board. They're talking to Jimmy Wine, who missed a few matches with a hamstring injury earlier on. But Paul Broderick is a beautiful kick for goal. Very relaxed action. No mistake with that one from about 30-35 metres out. And Fitzroy now still 44 points behind Hawthorn, and a lot of work to be done.
Yes, the last 10 minutes of the second term, they may rue that as the game wears on. Baldwin, no, it's Wine.
It looks, Robbo, it looks like Jimmy Wines now has a job on Johnny Platten.
Well, I think he's done it in past matches. Kick goes towards centre-half forward for Hawthorn, punched away. Deer can't quite control the football. McCormack, handball to no one in particular. Now out goes Stevens with a quick kick, but there's no one there for the Lions. Hawthorn will repel it. Jenky goes to Greg Deer. Greg Deer settles and thumps it over the 50-metre line. There's an opportunity for Nugent. Hawks have made a couple of changes. Nugent on the ground, kicks to the goal front. Taken over the line? No, it's not. Lynch will clear. Little left foot kick. Anderson there. Gale, ineffective tackle. Anderson's kick across his body. Underneath it, Elliott. Can't mark. Seacamp now back in defence. Kick by Baldwin, smothered there by Anderson, and it'll be trundled over for a boundary throw-in in the Hawthorn right forward pocket. There's Ross Lyon to the right of the picture with a decent old blow over his left eye. Hawthorn bench, Ben Allen surprisingly on the bench.
So the Lions have made a lot of changes. Brad Boyd is on the ground and in picture, in fact. Wearing number 34. And another throw-in.
They've really suffered in the ruck, haven't they, since Peter Satori went off injured against the Sydney Swans with that serious knee injury. And now rucking Paul Abbott, of course, and they're just lacking height in those very vital rucking contests.
Morrissey couldn't take it. Broderick gets it away. Now a chance for Stevens from Roos over the top to Blake. Back again he goes to Stevens, but a wonderful smother. Great work by Paul Hudson.
What a quarter. He had 4 goals in that second quarter. Tony Hawk 3 goals in the second quarter.
So another throw-in. Paul Deere and Brett Stevens. Paul Deere plucks it out of the air to Dean Anderson. His kick slews off the side and goes out of bounds on the foot.
Well, I think that Fitzroy can learn from that little passage of play with Paul Hudson. Just working to keep the ball in the forward half. There was no way known that Roos was going to get through, and eventually the kick was smothered, and the Hawks are still in their positive half. Not now, though. This kick goes up towards centre-half forward. No mark taken by Wielden, but Langford, who keeps his footing brilliantly, steadies the ship and hits Hall right on the chest with a 35 to 40 metre pass. Hall in turn into the pocket. Brereton is marked. Hasn't had many touches, Dermott. This is his 3rd kick. Kicks it in short. Dunstall in front. No mark. Well done, Lynch. Good close checking. Down goes Boyd. And now the advantage is paid. Fitzroy will get clear. Roos on the end of the hand pass. Kicks it in towards the centre. The kick's not bad because it's going to give Abbott the chance to run at it. He's beaten for it by Collins, though. The nippy little back pocket player. A great Trojan in defence for Hawthorn. And the Hawks will clear. Langford, Ayres. How often have you heard that? Ayres clears to the half-forward area where the mark is taken by Pritchard. And a game little player is Darren Pritchard. Only his 4th kick. Up towards the 50-metre line. Hudson running free now. And he marks just inside 50 metres. He'll be kicking from 50. Fairly good stats for Paul Hudson. More importantly, the goal tally for opportunity for his 5th. He usually kicks it so well. Hudson from 50. The drop punt works nicely and it goes through for his 5th goal. Well, Fitzroy, they kicked the first goal of the 3rd term, but Hawthorn answered pretty quickly, and the Hawks lead comfortably.
It's back to the half-time margin of 50 points. It's a kick by Paul Hudson. He's a magnificent kick for goal from about 55 metres out, a low trajectory kick. And Hudson has now kicked 5 goals too, the leading Hawthorn goal kicker on the ground.
There's 5 goals now to Hudson. 11-8. Plays 3-6. Back in the middle once again. Broderick couldn't take it at the first attempt. Hudson caught. Ball pinned to him. And up bounce. Here's a chance for Wine. Gets the hand pass away to Broderick. From 55 metres, long and low, over the top it goes. Wielden and Langford. See one behind you on the ball.
It's well done there by Darren Wielden doing the shepherding in the goal square, but unfortunately just going the wrong side of the goalpost.
49 points is the margin. Langford kicks back into play. No mark taken. Wine, clever scoop forward. The idea was right to Broderick, who has it kicked out of his hands almost. Baldwin, Guard trying to get rid of Platten, but that will be a very tough job. The advantage is paid. Guard, a long way out, goes in towards full forward. Wielden gives away a free kick. And it's been a frustrating night for him.
And Osborne could have nearly got one there. Same thing.
Kick is not a good one.
Well, Darren Wielden's had plenty of problems against Chris Langford, but he wouldn't be the first full forward to suffer that. Chris Langford, a very strong, mobile full-back.
That's a mismatch, Bernie, isn't it? Langford's about, what, 6'4" and about 15 stone?
Well, Wielden has done the job at full forward in the past, Robbo, so he had to have the chance there of playing there.
Wind. Kick towards the front of the goals. Good mark, Richard Osborne.
Now, this is a good move playing Osborne closer to the goals because it takes some of the pressure off Wielden. Osborne a very good high mark playing against the smaller Hawthorn defender, and it has now given Fitzroy another avenue to goal.
Richard Osborne has kicked one. Surely he'll kick his second, and he does. Richard Osborne, 2 goals. Broderick 1, Seacamp 1. Goal scorers for Fitzroy, but they still trail 74-31.
There's Richard Osborne now being picked up by Gary Ayres. And of course, with Wielden being well held by Chris Langford, Osborne there with the opportunity to come with a fly over the top. And of course, he is a very good high marking player and an excellent kick for goal.
Well, Fitzroy have done pretty well in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the third term. Abbott still struggling with height. Blakey can't get the effective kick away. Jarman, hand pass productive. Pritchard and Anderson. Anderson kicks into full forward. Mark to Fitzroy. Taken by Lynch.
Alistair Lynch comes to the half-back line. Hammered towards the line. Wine might keep it in play. He does. Over the top to Stevens. On centre wing. Can the Lions mount something here? Brad Boyd in towards half-forward. Collins, what a stout defender he's been. And it goes in the hand pass. Goes over the line. Gary Ayres. Tap on the head.
Terrific camaraderie, isn't it? Yeah. The guy had made a mistake. Ayres, he didn't say anything to him. Just pat him on the head. Let's get on with the bizzo.
Well, he went for the safety, didn't he, Robbo? If he missed Ayres, it didn't matter if it went out of bounds.
Very professional outfit. Wielden may have held on to it just a fraction too long. Deere was ripped off the ball when he didn't have it. Blakey soccers away from Gowes. It's straight to Nugent. Broderick, ball was touched. He's claimed by Jarman. And a bounce. Seen on a couple of occasions tonight just how quick the handball of Jarman is. Deere over the top. Away races Anderson. Kick number 13. So another big night for him. Stevens caught. Boyd to centre wing. Guard. Baldwin having a little bit of a touch up the back there with Hudson. Play goes on. Play on, play on. Calls the umpire. The guard to the right half forward flank, and again over the line, almost down to the pocket region for Fitzroy.
Yes, probably the avenue of attack is a little bit difficult for Fitzroy because not many options there coming into the forward line. Brett Stevens playing at centre half forward, but then dropping back to form a loose man to cut Hawthorn's defenders, well, their options when they're coming out of defence.
Abbott left it for guard, and eventually it's taken over the boundary line for another throw-in. Right forward pocket for Fitzroy. Chance for them to score. Abbott and Deere, they've had a terrific tussle all night, but Deere probably just a little in front, doing well in the ruck contest, centre around the ground. Nugent, Dundas, oh, he's hurried over the line, and the umpire, central umpire, gives the boundary umpire the all clear to throw it in. So the third boundary throw in within about a minute and a half in nearly the same spot. Right forward pocket for Fitzroy. Big punch by Jenke. And we'll have our fourth boundary throw in within about 10 metres in that right forward pocket for Fitzroy. There's Andy Collins. I'll tell you what, they work so cohesively, Hawthorn, all over the field. Deere tries to get it down to Collins, punched away by Wine. Bit of shepherding needed here. Dundas has got the chance to kick it across to the front of the goals. Ayres, kick off the ground is by guard, and it's touched. Interesting situation there. The goal umpire not asking for any clearance there from the field umpire. He was right on the scene, made a definite decision, threw for a rush behind. Kick in is marked by Anderson.
He goes to Collins. Andy Collins, 10th kick. The centre wing, Jarman. Very quickly, the Hawks transfer it down towards their 50-metre line. Brad Boyd goes over the line. And another throw in.
The former Collingwood under-19s captain. It's Brad Boyd, and now with a job on Paul Hudson.
Deere. Tony Hall races for it. Jarman, very quick to Chris Mew. Well, wouldn't he love that if he kicked a goal? But not the one behind to Chris and Hawthorn. But that youngster would be pretty happy with proceedings as far as Hawthorn is concerned at the moment. Jimmy Wine tucked in the back pocket. Diving attempt to keep it in by Blakey is unsuccessful.
Watch Collins minding the mark. It was even a centimetre. If he could have cribbed, he would have taken it. Fantastic minding of the mark.
Absolute miser when it comes to that.
Fitzroy has really missed that man on the bench there, Rossi Lyon. His enthusiasm. And one of the only players you see nowadays who can give a really good hip and shoulder, Robbo.
Terrific stuff he was early.
Yes,
maybe concentrated a little bit too much, but came off second best in the finish. Roos at centre half back. Kicks it high in towards the centre. Yes, good mark, Wielden. Got his hands on that and hung onto it. Kick into the forward line. Osborne, keep going. Oh, he had the chance. Just slipping a little bit. Was Ayres, but Osborne has the mark.
He probably could have backed himself there, Robbo, because of his enormous pace. Probably would have been able to get away from Gary Ayres.
But Osborne certainly will get the distance here. He kicks it long, but offline and through for a behind. Bernie, knee injuries. Richard Osborne has come back from a serious one. Surely the pace is not quite there.
Well, he doesn't seem to have lost a lot to me, Robbo. He seems, first of all, when he came back, he, of course, lacked a little bit of confidence. Trying to get over that knee operation is a very big thing in a player's mind. But he doesn't seem to be lacking a yard nowadays, Robbo. He's back to his best.
Ray Jenky brings it back into play to Chris Mew. Short again. Collins. It'll be interesting to see who wins the Michael Tuck medal tonight. The best player in the final. Tim Watson is one of the judges on that panel. This is Dundas. Does it nicely. Gives it across to McCormack, who in turn goes to Stevens, who sets sail for full forward. Oh, and a good mark taken by Osborne again.
Wielden.
Stay out of it, Darren Wielden, because it's not worth losing it. And Richard Osborne telling him that. Stay away, because I've got the shot at goal. And this is a good move, because Richard Osborne now virtually playing at full forward, and Darren Wielden taking Chris Langford away. So the bigger player not having the same influence on the match.
Osborne from only 20 metres out. Has he kicked this? He's missed. Gee, you can't afford misses like that, Bernie, with...
There's Richard Osborne's wife sitting there, very interested. I think he's married now, isn't he, Sandy? I hope he is, or well, fiancé. No, I think it is his wife.
Anyway, she was a bit surprised there. I think she may have realised she was on television. Langford kicks in, well outside 50. Long kick. Chance for Guard, who's doing a few good things. Wielden's hand pass, puts Dundas under pressure. He leaves it behind. Still a chance. Broderick, Stevens, and the kick slews off the side, and that's the pressure that the Hawthorn players all over the field continue to apply. I'm sure Ross Lyon can acknowledge that. Platten from the back pocket.
Towards Deer. The back, Stevens, an effective spoil. Baldwin can't quite get through, but he does get it out to Dundas, who does find a bit of space. Bangs Brett Stevens on the chest. He goes longer, in towards full forward. The players lock arms. That was Wielden and Langford, and Osborne over the line with Gary Ayres and the football.
So getting the ball down on that forward line on plenty of occasions in this third quarter. And those shots at goal, the one that Richard Osborne missed, they're really vital because they can't afford to make those sort of mistakes against this great Hawthorn side.
Hurried snap by Abbott. Goes across the face of goal. Football commentator, Pro-Am winner, and now marriage consultant, Bernie Quinlan. You're unbelievable.
Madigan just preparing to come on too, Sandy, just to change the subject.
Thank you, Father. Broderick. One behind. 11-9 plays 4-11. Just over 7.5 minutes remaining of this
if they could just break through Fitzroy and kick 2 quick goals, they'd get some momentum. But Hawthorn, they just won't allow them to get in the clear at all. Morrissey's marked the kick in, kicks it wide to half back, and a good mark taken by Pritchard in front of guard.
The other thing, Robert, too, we saw against Adelaide how Fitzroy really do run out at the full game, don't they? That last quarter against Adelaide,
My word,
really went hard.
Oh, they're pretty fit. Both sides are a credit to the work they've done over the summer. Kick towards centre wing, chance for Stevens, who's getting quite a lot of the football in the third term. Opportunity for Fitzroy here. Guard, lovely hand pass. Dundas, confidence. He'll have a shot. No, he won't. He'll kick it brilliantly to the front of the goals, where Gale has made position. And Mark's only 25 metres out directly in front.
Great vision there by Matty Dundas. Tremendous play. Congratulated there by teammates. Jimmy Wine really appreciating that. He could have blazed away. Terrific vision. Andy Collins expecting him to have that shot at goal, leaving his man. And Michael Gale taking that mark.
And a good tap out by Wielden.
Certainly, he's come into the game a bit in this third quarter. Fitzroy's had the ball on their forward line for most of this term. They just haven't been able to convert.
Let's see what he can do this time. He's kicked it. Can that fire the Royals? 5-11, plays 11-9.
Yeah, good quarter by Fitzroy. They've kicked 2 goals for the term to Hawthorn's 1. The 1 goal coming to Paul Hudson. Let's have a look at this in replay again. Darren Wielden, that little clever tap on. And Matty Dundas, clever play here, looking all the time to see a better option. And just centering that ball very cleverly to the running player in Michael Gale.
Bernie, to back up your thoughts there, Fitzroy trailed badly in the statistics. Greg Deere on the bench for Hawthorn, but they trailed miserably at half-time in the statistical department. Right now it's 132 kicks to 129, 56 hand passes to 52. Hawthorn just in front, so Fitzroy have kicked on in this third quarter. Nugent has the footy. Run down by Baldwin. Terrific play, Baldwin. He's held. Pritchard gets through. Handball. Platten under pressure. Terrific stuff. Football. Fantastic at 92. A big crunch of players. And the umpire forced to bounce. And the crowd are acknowledging the terrific stuff shown by all players in that little passage of play there. The Fitzroy boys, the Hawthorn boys rather, there having a good look at what's going on. Abbott a big job over the top of Madigan. Guard, he'll get it, doing pretty well. Left foot kick towards centre foot. Collins at the back, flies high. No, Wielden gets it, shoots for goal. Wielden, oh gee, that would have been a good one for them, but he missed to the left. And he is goalless at this stage in the match, Darren Wielden, and he is such an important goal kicker for Fitzroy.
Worked very hard over the summer.
There's only 2 points tonight to Darren Wielden, and that's mainly because of this man, Chris Langford. Very hard player to play on.
Thought about Madigan, but then elects to go straight down the middle. Jenkins in the front of the pack. Stevens comes over the top. Pritchard's waiting at the back. Long and direct. 2 kicks and bang, they're down to Dermott territory. He may... No, he slipped. I was going to say he may have a shot. Gives it to Deere. Clever kick. And a good spoil by Lynch. Pressure now on Paxman. And rushed over the line by Marcus Seacamp.
Great work there from Alistair Lynch to get that fist to the ball, because that looked like a perfect pass on the chest of Jason Dunstall.
Very good defensive work. Paul Deere. His brother's having a spell on the bench. Good tackle on Gowes. Platten. Vice-like grip of Boyd.
Look at that again. 2 Fitzroy players applying the tackle to Johnny Platten. And only 6 kicks and 3 handballs. Very light on them with the stats there for John Platten tonight.
Boyd. Now that wasn't subtle, but he's got away with it.
I think because the umpire was on the blind side. If he'd have been a little bit out to the right and seen the look on that guy's face when he kicked it, no way known he was going for anywhere else by the boundary line, was it?
No. Deere again. Claims it nicely now. Can he kick that? Into the square he goes. Strength. Madigan leading Stevens. A little bit of a nudge, and Lynch sees that one over the line.
Yes, he's done a magnificent job, Alistair Lynch at fullback. Jason Dunstall with only the 1 goal for the night.
And in a game where there's been a lot of very good productive players, Lynch could easily figure in this Michael Tucker ward.
Certainly.
Still a play in the right forward pocket for Hawthorn. There's a free kick being picked out. It's going to Brereton. Maybe a little high.
The umpire indicating too high with the tackle. And Dermot Brereton, who's been reasonably quiet. There it is again. Yes, initially too high with that tackle.
Yes.
Brereton only 2 marks, 3 kicks and 3 handballs.
Young Jamie Elliott there, suffering the wrath of the umpire as Brereton shoots for goal. It's close. It could be there. It is. Brereton kicks his first goal. And Hawthorn get the goal they were looking for. 12-9 leads Fitzroy, who are 5-12.
Hawthorn don't need many chances to make the opposition pay. And here's the free kick again. We see that, the free kick there being paid against Jamie Elliott, who is a very promising backline player for the Fitzroy side. But as I said, you cut out a couple of the forwards and there's always another one ready to take his place.
Brereton kicks Hawthorn's 12th goal. And they lead again now, 39 points. Chance for Boyd to get through, he does. Kicks it along towards half forward. Good punch by Langford, talented play by Mew, and the Hawks are out of trouble once again.
To Morrissey. Up to the right half forward flank. Runners out wide at Pritchard. And a free down the ground.
This looks like a relayed free kick. Yes, that's what the umpire's saying there. And, oh, well, that didn't look too good in replay. In fact, against Seacamp, rather unnecessary. Robbo?
Pritchard did that brilliantly, you know. He hung onto the ball right till the last second. He knew the fellow was going to come in and tackle him.
He might think that tomorrow when he wakes up with a sore ear.
Right. I saw him get up very quickly. Tough little bloke, Darren Pritchard.
Jason Dunstall has had to take the back seat as far as goals have been concerned tonight. He needs this for his second. Goes across the face. And through the one behind.
One goal, three.
What, did he kick a point then? I thought that was pushed through by the Bull Deer.
Oh, well. 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Jimmy Wine. Gains valuable metres. And Madigan slips over the line. Alan Joyce, who has quite an extraordinary coaching record. Free kick to Jimmy Wine.
Well, that's why Joyce was going crook, because there was an umpiring decision given in favour of Fitzroy when he thought there was nothing in it.
Could have been one over the shoulder there, this time going to Abbott. Short to Broderick. He's got Osborne down at full forward. With him is Gary Ayres, wearing him like a glove. He elects to go across the ground to Brendan McCormack.
There's Darren Jarman playing in the middle now with Ben Allen on the bench.
Well, they're going the long way home here.
They've 4 marks and gone forward 3 metres.
Seacamp goes longer, wants Broderick. Out comes Osborne. Sneaks away from Ayres. Back to Baldwin. Can chip over the top to Broderick. Finds him in the forward pocket. Jimmy Wine's calling for it. Kick is a good one. Well, this is a real jigsaw. He goes for Wielden and misses him. Blakey overruns it. And Gower sees it over the line.
Well, I really couldn't blame Fitzroy for moving the ball around the way they did there, Robbo, because when they kick it long and high into the forward line, you've got Chris Langford there or Chris Mew just punching the ball away.
40 points is the margin. Broderick's hand pass is good to McCormack, and he finds Gale just outside 50. Now this distance tests him. He wants Osborne, who recovers well. He's going to have a snap. It's high, in towards the square. Wielden, yes! Plays on, goes short. Jimmy Wine will be free kick.
This has to be a free kick, but Andrew Collins, realising there was very little he could do, maybe he thought that, well, I'll just have to try anything on this occasion. A little bit risky, that pass. Jimmy Wine making position. Darren Wilden getting the ball on very quickly. Gives Jimmy Wine a shot from about 35 to 40 metres out.
6 kicks. And he's pulled that to the right. .5:13 plays 12:10. Alex McDonald about to come on for Hawthorn, so they're preparing to make a change. Looks like Dean Anderson coming off. This is Jenky.
Kick towards the half-back area, the jumping Jack Collins. His first name is Andrew, by the way. Kicks towards the wing. No mark taken there. Guard, Madigan. There's a siren. Third quarter ends, and Hawthorn lead 12-10, 82. Fitzroy, a terrific effort, but there's still only 5:13, 43.
Here we go, final quarter. 12:10 plays 5:13. We welcome back Peter McKenna and Don Scott. Let's see if the Lions can get away with a couple of quick goals. That's what they need, is to give them.
Well, they did well in the third quarter statistically, Sandy, and but they just couldn't really bridge that gap. They lowered it a little bit, but it wasn't quite enough.
Another bounce. As we heard the coach say, well, we didn't hear the coach say, but apparently he said, well, they must get it out the centre. Paul Broderick's kick. He gets it further afield to Blakey to the half-forward line. The goal here would be handy, but there's a little champion back pocket player, Collins, playing a great game. Fisted away by the Fitzroy players, which is good disciplined play. Madigan to Alex McDonald. McDonald to the half-forward line. Not a good kick. And it beats Paul Hudson over the line. Both players have lost good midfielders. There's one of them in the centre, Ben Allen. Of course, Ross Lyon off for Fitzroy balances that. Both those players were very prominent in the first half. Paul Deere with strength. Gee, does that a lot from those throw-ins. The kick to the half-forward line. Players race at it. Here's Madigan. Greg Madigan. Danger here for Fitzroy because Paul Hudson's got it. Hand pass to Jarman. He's caught. The ball hits the deck. That was Paxman. Now it was Broderick. The Hawthorn players swoop in. It'll be a bounce close to the line at half-forward for the Hawks. Fitzroy have been very, very gallant. It was that 10-minute period just before half-time. There's Ross Lyon, who's hit a few of the Hawthorn players very hard, but then Hawthorn, that 10-minute period before half-time, just rammed on goals at will, as we've seen them do so often in the past.
We'll have it now at centre half forward as the work of the centre bounces.
Throw in again. Deere gets front spot. Ball spilling free. Chance now for the Lions through Baldwin. Kicks it high through the arms of Chris Mew. Jenky gives him backup support. Ray Jenky stabs into the middle. Jarman is there. He's got a little bit of space. Heads for home. Wants Dunstall. Hudson scouting. Tries to tap it on for Hall. Back to Dunstall again. Wide to Pritchard. Flicks round to Hudson. Got a touch to it. Clean bowls the lot. Nugent may have to sucker off the ground and he hits the post. .12-11. Plays 5:13.
Roy's bring it out of defence to half-back. This is Brad Boyd.
Dundas off, McCormack on, or Cormack on.
Bad kick by Boyd, straight to Collins. Now Jarman, let's see what he can do. He gets in a hand pass to Platten, who's been well held tonight, but he's battling away. Back to Collins. Collins to the pocket. Brereton up in front. Can't take the mark, it's fisted away. Paul Deere races after it. Gives off a hand pass to Pritchard. Pritchard sets it up for Dunstall. He goes the wrong way. Now, the bounce of the ball, very important here. Alistair Lynch will go to the line. And good thinking by the fullback.
Dundas will be off the ground because he's been led to the ball on a couple of occasions early in the last quarter by his opponent, Collins. Oh, free kick or not?
No. Deere going over the top and still going. Jarman, clever kick round his body and Brereton takes a diving mark.
value of playing in front.
Short you go. Back to Jarman. That's virtually where Jarman kicked it to Brereton. Darren Jarman has 1 goal to his credit. He booted that in the second quarter. 14 possessions, 6 kicks, 8 hand passes. From 25 metres. Kicks beautifully. Jarman has 2. Hawthorn rolls on. 13-11. Plays 5-13.
Well, it's an interesting battle in that centre position. Jarman and Broderick, well, they were at it for 3 in the third quarter. Just watching Jarman jog back. Yes, he is being picked up by Broderick. There he is, his second goal. Jarman.
Well, that's exactly what Fitzroy did not want at the start of this final quarter. There's Madigan now, Platten to the half-forward line. Hudson racing after it with Brad Boyd. Well done by Boyd. Gets it further afield to centering. That was Cormac. Now Gale. Michael Gale switches play across the ground. Now let's read Collins here. Collins, oh, he's a little terrier. He's got backup support from Pritchard. Oh, could have been a free kick to Pritchard. It's a loose ball at centre wing. Cormac again, former West Coast Eagle. Collins ends up with the ball. On to Platten. Platten caught. Gets in a hand pass. Pritchard. Now Jarman. Danger here because the chip pass is on. Tony Hall. Oh, he drops the mark. Unusual for him. Now Pritchard. Another chip pass. Morrissey. Morrissey swinging onto the left foot. The leader's on. And pinpoint accuracy has hit Dunstall on the chest. Magnificent play by Morrissey. Dunstall has been held tonight by Alistair Lynch.
There's the pass behind goal. Dunstall. Good battle between Dunstall and Lynch, and a replacement has been made by Fitzroy. Ross Lyon back on the ground.
Well, Lynch has done a magnificent job. Dunstall lays back. Will he swing it in? I don't think so. No, he has just missed to the right.
And Brendan McCormack has gone off. There's Lyon and Screen. Interested to know what's wrong with him, whether he's got concussion.
Well, I think they've, with Lyon, well, what are you doing that for, Don? So, in towards half back. Cross line. Good to see him back on the ground, though. He's one of the real playmakers, tough as nails. Paxman. Now there's Brendan McCormack. He's leaning against the railing, looking on. Over the back. Hudson drops the ball. Kicked off the ground. Tony Hall. Oh, taps it on. Good play. Racing in after it, Madigan. Off the ground. Goal. So, another goal to the Hawks. 14-12 Hawthorn, Fitzroy 5-13.
Well, Greg Madigan came on to replace Greg Deere partway through that third quarter, and the value of Madigan is his mobility, and here he is, the knock ruckman. Look at the way he's getting down. He has played at centre-half back on occasions, a very mobile player who can play in a position, but he's got an exceptional leap, being a high jumper at Marcelin.
Crowd of 49,453 watching Hawthorn march towards back-to-back Foster's Cup wins. Platten out of the centre. Up towards Brereton. Holding on from both sides. A line ball and another bounce. Fosters have been wonderful supporters of this night competition now for some considerable time. They've got the Fosters special bitter out now, and Hawthorn will be celebrating with that no doubt tonight. They've got a chance to kick another one here. Hudson gets the hand pass away and takes it back again. Snaps with the right boot, but is wide. Just sneaks in behind. Paul Hudson's had a pretty good night.
5 goals too, Sandy.
15 kicks and 4 hand passes. Margin out to 54 points.
Fitzroy playing the huddle as Alistair Lynch about to bring the ball back in. There's a break by Wynn.
A bad choice of words. Jimmy Wine. To centre wing. Lyon. Appears to be okay at the moment. Baldwin in all sorts of bother. But he does manage to scoop it clear. Here's a chance for Cormack from 55 metres. Sets sail for home but pulls it to the left. And one behind.
14-13 to 5-14. Fitzroy really having a dip. Hawthorn a comfortable lead, and they seem to be able to produce it at will. As we see Jenke receiving from Morrissey. This is Alex McDonald. Paul Deere attacked the ball, but Alex McDonald, a couple of ordinary passes, not like the Hawthorn machine. They normally hit them right on the chest. Alan Joyce. Well, what an amazing coaching record he's got, Alan Joyce. Not only in AFL, he's a great coach in the VFA in Melbourne also. Now, the quick kick by Lyon. Mew receives from Langford, the experience showing out to halfback. Oh, a lot of courage by McDonald. Now Madigan, a very, very quick player, Madigan. Oh, around a mile. Almost could have been pinged for that. The kick to half forward. Tony Hall attacks it. Still going in after it. He's got backup support from Deere. Jamie Elliott, the short one. The mark taken at half-back, and that was Baldwin.
Quickly on to Gale. Runs through the centre, Michael Gale. And runs his full distance after having one bounce. On the last line of defence is Ray Jenke.
Paul Cooper about to come on for Hawthorn, stretching on the boundary line as Collins goes the outer flank.
He's had a wonderful game, Andy Collins. Finds Gowes. Further up is Pritchard. Now Platt. Well, Jarman's all alone at half forward. He ambles after it. And he could probably kick a goal from here if he's quick. Brereton's his target. Couldn't take it. And Boyd heads for the safety of the boundary line.
Well, in the second half, Boyd, he's a real battler, isn't he? But Broderick will have to tighten up on Jarman. He's noted for his concentration, disciplined play, Broderick. He's a little bit lapsed this the last quarter.
From the throw in it goes behind Madigan. Platten couldn't take it. Paul Deere shoveling it out in front of Jarman. Just flicks it onto Morrissey, who should kick a goal. But doesn't. Get a vacant square and drifted it away to the left.
Blakey off and Dundas on. There's John Blakey.
I think he's done his penance. Matthew Dundas on the bench.
Alistair Lynch to bring the ball back into play. He's done a magnificent job there at fullback tonight. Madigan, Pritchard back up support. The hurry kick into the forward line. That contest again at full forward. Tony Hall on the Platten. Two former South Australians combined. Platten goes bang for a goal. So John Platten kicks his first. There's a happy Hawk. 15-14 to 5-14. 10 goals the margin.
Glenn Nugent is going off for Hawthorn as Cooper is about to come on. Nugent, who has been a little quiet. In actual fact, he's only had 3 kicks since coming on in about the second quarter.
First goal to John Platten. With the Hawks making sure of things now. 104 plays, 44. 10 goals straight. As the Hawthorn chant winds up. Cormack sends Fitzroy down towards Wielden. Been well beaten tonight.
Well, Darren Wielden, of course, yet to score a goal, Sandy, and he's been playing a full forward all night, and the ball has been down there. But he's just probably a little bit...
There was a bad miss, wasn't there? A chest mark, a perfect pass.
And a fumble.
It was the second or third first quarter. It was the lay down was there.
Cormack gives it to Dundas, on to Stevens, who almost ran out of room. Ball was touched. Over the back it comes. Gale can't get there in time as Gowes flicks it over the line. And frustration for Michael Gale. The young lady's quite bemused by something. Stevens wheeled and tried to pluck it out of the air, but unable to hang on to it. Jarman sees it away to Gowes. To half-back. First to it, however, will be Jeremy Gay. Michael Gale, a tired Michael Gale, overruns it. This opens the door for Jenke. Just keeps it in play. They've got the run now. Away they go. Pritchard. He's had some runs down these wings. 3 bounces. They create a path for him. He'd better be quick and get rid of it. He does to Jarman. Jarman is 52 metres out. Shoots it towards full forward and bang! There is the Hawthorn machine in full flight.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it, this Hawthorn side? You see Jarman there, I mentioned earlier, he started on the bench the last time they came out here against Geelong and really didn't have an inspiring night that particular night, yet he starts on the ground, he can bob up. Hudson another one, the second quarter, you don't see much of him, but all of a sudden that purple patch, he bobbed up with 4 goals in the second quarter. Tony Hall, he had 3 in the second quarter. They've got players everywhere that just bob up at the critical moments and really do capitalise on the opportunities for their side.
Well, Darren Jarman has kicked 3, and what an exciting passage of play to see a wingman sprint down that outer side of the ground, bouncing the ball so many times, and the crowd loves that, don't they, when you see a guy running and bouncing the ball.
Cormac is a terrier, and so is Cooper, number 26 for Hawthorn.
There's Stevens with a quick kick. Oh, it's Gary Ayres waiting underneath this, and marks, and they've got loose men. Hawthorn, this is when they rebound. Now let's see how many kicks it takes them. Paul Cooper touches it on the ground. Now 1 kick to centre wing. Paul Deere punches it on, and Fitzroy, Paul Deere then intercepts, gives it on to Platten, and away they go. John Platten has a bounce. He's calling for Dunstall. There's the lead. Racing out after it was Dunstall. Couldn't get the bounce. Now it's Deere. Hand pass over the top. Dunstall again. Now Tony Hall onto the left foot. The chip passes on to Brereton, and out he comes, and bang, it hits him on the chest. He's kicked 1.
Dunstall not a really proficient left handballer, is he? Kind of spoons it out, shuffles it out, but nonetheless it found its mark in Hall. But Hall, a very skilled player, hit Brereton with that left foot pass.
Brereton from 35 metres, kicks, goal up by, does not move. So the Hawthorn champion has kicked 2 goals, 17-14 to 5-14, and 12 goals the margin.
You can lead as a forward with confidence. When you've got players of this calibre, Hall in front of you, watch the way he passed that ball. Look, magnificent. Just no hope as a defender, trying to get that ball away. And Paxman, playing on Brereton, just had no chance.
$12 goals is the margin. 8.5 minutes remaining. From the centre, Osborne couldn't take it. Jarman. Free kick to Brett Stevens. Jarman hanging on.
Paul Morris about to come back on for Fitzroy.
Ross Lyon. To half forward, Chris Mew.
Still a great player, Chris Mew, isn't he?
Well, he hasn't got an opponent. His opponent is up the ground, Peter.
Well, look at this. They've got loose men running absolutely everywhere. Paul Hudson heads to half forward. Pritchard, doesn't matter which wing, he'll run either of them. Off to Platten. Inside 50 now. A diving attempt to mark was by Paxman. Lynch butters up. Goes back to half-back. Jarman and Broderick. Oh, what a mark! Great diving mark by Darren Jarman. He's kicked 3 goals, and now he's given back to Deere. It came from Alex McDonald, and he has pumped through yet another. They're doing it on the bit now. Deere gets his first.
Sum that up as confident play or arrogant play, because McDonald was well in line to kick that goal. There's Jarman's mark as he just pushes Broderick out, but nonetheless a good mark. Then shoots it across to McDonald. Watch McDonald, well inside 50, but a quick little layoff. Deer just manages to squeeze it in. Paul Deer is first.
Well, with Ben Allen off the ground, of course, that gives Jarman the opportunity to get into that centre and show his class. He often has to play on the half-forward line. Ball kicked the half-forward, wide, brought to ground. Paul Cooper, a hurried kick. Hudson at the back. Oh, almost a clever mark. Jarman. Fitzroy players swoop in after it. One was Abbott. Players go to ground. It's a Fitzroy free kick holding the man. And let's see who will receive this. It's Joe Cormack, former West Coast Eagle, a left footer. Let's change that to a right footer. To a half forward. Now that should be a free kick to Lyon. Gutsy effort by Ross Lyon. He was a terrific player early. Now the short one is on, and the mark has been taken by Brett Stevens, 40 metres from goal.
Blakey back on for Fitzroy. I think it was Baldwin going down just under the shoulder. I just couldn't pick him up as he went underneath, but I think it was Baldwin.
Even though they're well behind Fitzroy, I think they've shown a lot in this Foster's Cup series. They're going. No one will get an easy game against them this year. They've got a lot of talent. There's the kick by Stevens. It's a goal. So that's his first. And the Roys, well, they haven't given up all night, although they've been outclassed. 18-14 to 6-14.
Well, I think they're still doing the same ploy as they did in the second or third quarter, Fitzroy. Stevens there on screen has just kicked the goal. Goes up the ground after the bounce down in the centre, and Abbott seems to go to centre half forward, leaving Mew a spare man in defence for Hawthorn.
122 plays 50 under 6 minutes remaining. Abbott up against Madigan. The latter went for the big thump and missed it. Working hard was Cormack. Gets it out to guard. Up to full forward once again. Wheeldon had front spot, but Langford's got the height, pace and the persistence.
You wonder Wheeldon's future as a full forward in big company, because you've got a guy like that in Langford, and there are big fullbacks about. Is he too small to play at full forward?
Yes, when he's got to meet people the calibre of Langford, Danny Frawley, maybe a Silvani, who knows. However, the Lions are still going. Guard runs into trouble. Here's Blakey, pushed as he gets his kick, but he does get it up to the forward line. The mark is taken by Broderick. Kicked the goal in the third quarter, Paul Broderick. So 22 possessions, 9 kicks and 13 hand passes.
Second to their best and fairest last year, Paul Broderick, one of those unsung heroes of league football.
Broderick's kick looks pretty good, and it's a goal. So 2 goals to Paul Broderick, and the Roy's 7. 7-14 plays 18-14.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, a very disciplined player, but he's just got to man up a little bit more on his opponent, who is Jarman, Darren Jarman, because Jarman has chipped in the last quarter. Kicked a couple of goals.
What about Alan Joyce? 5 tries at a premiership for 5 premierships. What an amazing record, and what a great team he's got to coach. As we see Joe Cormack again getting it out of the centre. Here's Morris racing back with the flight. Jeeke is a tremendously improved player, very, very highly skilled. Gowers to centre wing. Oh, his teammate took it away, Brad Boyd. Cormack. As Fitzroy go forward again, still battling it out to the very end. Oh, the big flyer was Wheeldon. How will the umpire see this? It's play-on decision as Lyon gets it back to Osborne. Richard Osborne in towards goal. Which way will it bounce? It bounces through for a goal. So Richard Osborne kicks his third, and now the margin is to even 10 goals.
Well, there was nobody home on that occasion. A big fly from Wheeldon over the back. There it is. Oh, the knee goes into the back of Chris Mew, and you see him holding those kidneys. Lying quickly, and from 50 metres, it beats Andrew Collins. And as that does happen, the ball gets the bounce, seems to run that little bit faster.
$10 the margin. Abbott again out leaped by Madigan. Jenke held when he didn't have the football. Hudson gets a hurried kick to half forward. Clean bowls the lot. Down towards Brereton. Just tries to scoop it out and does so pretty cleverly, or McDonald caught one high. The advantage is paid. Gowes will shoot towards goal and put through another one.
Andrew Gowes, first goal. It's always interesting to look at players as soon as the ball has left the boot. It's an indication whether the ball has gone straight, and he was running back to the centre. As soon as he made contact, ball in flight, he was running back to the centre. He knew it was through for his first. Hawthorn now 19-14. Very big league, 128 playing 8-14-62 as we see Gowes going in for his first goal.
Again, the margin is 11 goals, 3.5 minutes of play left. Abbott has tried valiantly all night. He's rapped all night, which is a good effort. Chris Mew coming off the ground. There's Seacamp doing it to Dundas. He was held on to too long, and Dean Anderson's back on the ground for the Hawks.
They've had 10 goal kickers tonight, Hawthorn.
Well, you can contain a couple. You cannot contain the lot. There's just too much talent there. There's Dundas, not a bad kick to the half-forward line. Morris takes the mark. And the lead is on for Morris, formerly of Richmond and Essendon. Will kick from 60 metres. He's determined to short pass this one, I feel. Now he elects, there's no option, so he's got to go back and kick long in towards the square as players set themselves. It's thumped the ground. Here's a chance for Richard Osborne for goal number 4 as he hooks it around. And has he snuck it in? No, he hasn't. Just missed.
Chris Mew having a well-earned spell. Got a couple of heavy knocks early on, but has ridden the bumps. As has this Hawthorn outfit tonight. Showing they are a champion team. Langford to centre wing. Hall the flyer. Couldn't complete the mark. And a bounce on centre wing. Alan Joyce can savour another premiership. Dundas, desperation almost, throws it out the back door. Alex McDonald sees it over the line. Just on 2 minutes remaining. Let's go down to the boundary line. Tim Watson's there. Any problems with Chris?
Chris Moody just got a knee in the back before when Darren Wilson went up for that mark, and they're just taking him off the ground to have a look and put a bit of ice on it.
Darren Wheeldon. Caught by Collins, who's played a superb game. Paul Deere across to skipper Gary Ayres. He's going to captain back-to-back Foster's Cup victories because he was acting captain for Michael Tuck last year. Pritchard.
Also tonight sets an AFL records as the player who has played more night games than anyone else in the history of the game.
Thank you, Don. Boyd out to Paxman. Pritchard over the top. Just shovels it down in front and then chases. And gets it. Into the pocket. Brereton and Paxman doing some holding.
Fitzroy player down on centre wing.
That's Osborne. Roos gets it away to wide.
He's getting to his feet. He's all right.
Guard. In towards the centre. Ross Lyon. Had a torrid first half. Blakey back to Lyon, who evades the trip.
Oh, Ross Lyon let one go. Gowes involved in it.
And in the meantime, play goes on with Chris Langford. Short to Gary Ayres. The old firm has proven very reliable tonight. Platten runs in towards the middle. Kicks to half forward, but on this occasion, no one at home, and Jeremy Gard takes them.
Off he goes to Brad Boyd, who's done fairly well since coming on. Paul Roos. I'm sure he wouldn't have been 100% fit tonight. Now here's a free kick that will go Fitzroy's way. Now the advantage being paid. Out wide to Osborne. Fitzroy go forward as the time clock ticks down. Richard Osborne from half forward and 70 metres out centres it. Again, Langford and Wheeldon. Wheeldon has finally beaten Langford in a one-on contest and has marked.
So Darren Wheeldon on the siren. The Hawks are the Fosters champions. So to the Hawthorn theme song, Wheeldon shoots and goal, goes right across the face of goal. There is no score. Hawthorn are the champs. The final scoreline showing Hawthorn 19-14, 128. Fitzroy 8-15, 63. And it has become a very common sight, Peter, in recent years.
Well, I think this Hawthorn side, well, over a decade, Sandy, for 10 years or so, there's one of their champions. He's not 100% fit. Alistair Lynch was magnificent, but they go down as one of the greatest sides of all time. The Melbourne side of the 50s, the great Richmond sides, and Essendon side in the 80s, but the present, they've just got so much talent, this Hawthorn side, Sandy, and in my opinion, they're one of the best sides of all time.
Coming up shortly, we've got the presentation. We've also got Plays of the Month, which if you like Peter McKenna, you won't want to miss. We'll take a break.
We are the mighty fighting Hawks.
It's time now to salute the Fosters Cup champions for 1992. For the presentation, we go to the chairman of the AFL Commission, Mr. Ross Oakley.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and girls and boys. Tonight, for the first time, we are to present a medal to the best and fairest player in the Fosters Cup Grand Final, and the Commission has decided to name that medal after Hawthorn great Michael Tuck. I'm going to ask Michael Tuck to come forward and present the medal and make the announcement of the winner.
I'd like to say it's a big honour for myself and my family to get this medal named after us, and I'd like to thank the AFL for making it possible. Bad luck to Fitzroy. I think you got to prove the point that you can get there, so keep going for the rest of the year. You never know what could happen. And best of luck to Hawthorn. Well done again. And the winner of the medal is Paul Hudson.
Well, we saw another marvellous display by a great team, but we should say thank you to Fitzroy and congratulations on making the grand final, and we do hope that this year's performances continue in that vein. Well done. Well, they are a marvellous team, and what a marvellous coach. 5 grand finals and 5 premierships. I'd like the captain of the Hawthorn Football Club to come forward and receive the Premiership Trophy from the Executive Director Marketing at CUB, Mr. Robin Huxley.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Carlton United Breweries, I'd like to congratulate the AFL for another successful Fosters Cup series. I'd like to congratulate Fitzroy for the enormous effort they made to get to the final. And finally, of course, I'd like to congratulate Hawthorn for winning the final tonight. Thank you, Gary.
Well, I guess you'd like to hear a few words from Gary Ayres. He must be getting pretty good at making these speeches now.
Oh, no, not really, Mike. It's just a terrific effort by the boys.
What about Fitzroy, though, in that second quarter? They gave you a nice try out, didn't they?
Yeah, they certainly did. Commiserations to Fitzroy. They battled the game right out, so it looks like they're in for a good season if they can keep that up.
Gary, was it a bit tougher or a lot tougher than you fellows thought it might be?
Oh, no, we always thought it'd be tough.
Righto, now Fitzroy, if you get injured and you drop out of this side, you're going to be pretty lucky to get back in, aren't you?
Oh, well, opportunities come up every now and then, so I'd just like to thank all the guys, even the ones that missed out tonight, and hopefully we can just continue the good form. And thanks to the members too.
Well, Gary, you've played in many premierships with the Hawks. This side going into the 1992 season, it looks the goods.
Oh, well, this is a goal that we set ourselves since October last year, and the guys have worked extremely hard, so this is the credit they deserve.
Congratulations once again to Gary Ayres, the captain of Fitzroy. What about the coach? Captain of Hawthorn. You never know, could have been a Freudian slip. Where's the coach? I'm sure we'd like to get a few shots of Alan with the coach, the cup there. I'm sorry I transferred one of your players, particularly the captain, over to Fitzroy, but another great effort from your fellows.
Yeah, I was very pleased tonight. I thought we had to play very well to beat Fitzroy, and as the night grew on, particularly in the first half, it was a real contest and right to the last minute. So congratulations to our players, and I'd also congratulations to Fitzroy, because I think they were great and really competitive tonight.
Well, you must look forward now to another great season, the year 1992. Marvellous effort in the Foster's Cup Series. And I guess everybody, the yardstick, everybody expects you to go on with it.
Well, it's a long season, and I just hope tonight is the start of that. Thank you.
OK, thank you, Alan Joyce, the coach of the Hawks. Would all you nice people out there like to see the Hawks do a lap of honour? Thanks, Al. Thanks, Gary. Righto, boys, a lap of honour. The defending champions, they held on to the title.
Yes, a marvellous performance by Hawthorn. As Mike was just saying, defending champions, and quite staggering, Don and Peter, how they could just manage to come up and come up and come up year after year.
Skill, and you can only come up if you've got skill. Yes, they've got magnificent players, they've got a great desire to win, and I think they've perfected, Don, over, as I mentioned before, they're one of the great teams of all time, but they've perfected that team game where they just bustle the ball forward in any way, knockouts and kick-ons and tap-ons.
Well, they're the little things, aren't they? A lot of times go unnoticed, but, you know, you add on that, they do the hard things, they go and get the ball, they play disciplined football, but they're a very skilled side, and as soon as they get the ball, they rarely miss their target.
And one thing when you're playing this side, Don, you cannot afford to make a mistake. They are the one side in the competition that punish you if you make a mistake, because they rebound so well and their kicking skills are so good, and they've got 6 forwards who can kick goals.
Well, they had 10 people tonight who kicked goals, Peter.
Well, Jason Dunstall was well held tonight. John Clinton was well held, and yet other players bobbed up, and you just can't control them for a whole game.
We go back to Paul Hudson. He received the medal tonight, the Michael Tuck medal, but he kicked 4 goals in the second quarter. Tony Hall also had a purple patch. He had 3 goals in the second quarter. You know, and then they seem to drift out of the game, but when it's required, they come back.
And you always get the impression when they're playing that they can lift another gear. I'm sure that Hawthorn at one stage there, I thought they went to sleep a little bit a couple of times, but then when Fitzroy made a bit of a charge at them, they're able to just lift that gear and away they go and kick 3 or 4 goals in a burst.
We've also got to pay attention to Fitzroy, because, as we see there, the final quarter stats, they did really well in the first quarter.
it. I mean, they played disciplined football. They concentrated. They had an opponent and they stayed with that opponent, and they really did make the ball their object, and they went hard at it. And they forced Hawthorn into a lot of uncharacteristic errors. You know, the ball going, I remember going high into the air from Chris Mew because it was very hot. Chris Langford made a couple of mistakes, but you've got to be able to maintain that. 4 quarters. That's exactly right. And a couple of players lapsed in the second quarter, then Hawthorn just went away with the game. As we quickly look at the final stats, they do favour Hawthorn in a lot of areas. It was interesting, the handballs, that Fitzroy only had 6 the first quarter, but I think 29 from Hawthorn. Then the situation was reversed in the second quarter. What about the centre breaks? Fairly even, but the hit-outs should favour Hawthorn, and they did, because I thought Deere did a terrific job, and he would have been in line for that medal.
And they've also got Lawrence sitting on the sidelines to come back in, and we know what a great player he was last year, so they've got plenty of ruck strength.
Right, thank you, gentlemen, for that, as we have a quick look at those stats. Actually, I'm glad, Don and Peter, that you are with me at the moment.